Hi, how are you? We are so blessed today. Why? It is because we've got two historians in the house. I am a Dr. Muso. Mr. Thwala,
Doc, how are you?
I'm so happy. How are you, my brother?
I can't even say it,
You
Doc,
can't
but
even say.
yeah, the vibe is
I
okay.
can see the vibe.
The vibe is
Yes,
great. Yeah,
the enthusiasm.
yeah, that's the big way.
That's good. So today we want to talk about Napoleon. So we are going to be discussing a lot about Napoleon. We are going to start with the domestic policies of Napoleon. We'll start with the political reforms of Napoleon. Can you take us through, Mr. Thwala, what happened here on the domestic policies of Napoleon?
Okay, Doc, before maybe I go to the political reforms,
Mhm.
I think it's important for us to give maybe a background about
Yes,
what is domestic policies.
Yes, the background
So,
information.
basic, dear learners, when you talk of Napoleon domestic policies,
Mhm.
we are talking about the things that were done by Napoleon in France.
In the country.
In France.
In
the
France.
country. Are you guys following?
Mhm.
So, another thing about Napoleon domestic policies,
Mhm.
Napoleon actually had aims.
Mhm.
One of the aims, Napoleon.
Tell us about it. You can take us through the aims.
Napoleon wanted to create what is known as benevolent dictatorship.
Hey, Mr. Tola, today you are historicizing us. You've come up again with another term, benevolent. What do you mean?
When you are talking about benevolent dictatorship, Napoleon is actually kind. That's benevolent.
Yes.
But at the same time, he's a dictator.
Yes.
So in other words, whatever that is going to do later on, it's going to benefit the people, but at the same time pushing his own interests.
So Napoleon, like what Mr. Thwala is saying, he was kind, but at the same time, in his domestic policies, there were actions of despotism.
Another aim, he wanted to consolidate, to strengthen his power in France.
He wanted, yes.
And he managed to do that. That's why later on, he declared himself as a consul for life. So it means that he achieved that later on. And another thing, he wanted to revive the economy of France. And he did that.
Yes.
We are going to discuss about the Bank of France.
Oh, that's good.
And another thing, maybe this is my last thing, that Napoleon wanted. He wanted to mend the relations, to revive the relationship that was there between the state and the church.
Oh, lovely. So you have heard some of the aims of Napoleon in his domestic policies. Let's come back to his political reforms. What did he do politically?
So political, one of the things that I will say, Dr. Muso, the people of France wanted a constitution. Then Napoleon gave them a constitution.
So number one, people wanted a constitution and Napoleon gave them a constitution. The consulate.
The constitution, yeah, like what you said, the constitution was known as the consulate. So let me just take you through the organization of the constitution. There was the executive power. At first, there were three consuls, meaning consuls is good as saying presidents. There were three presidents, but Napoleon was the first consul, meaning that he was the highest in the hierarchy, and all the decisions of the country were made by Napoleon. He was the center, he was the apex of power as Napoleon the first. Sorry, Napoleon being the first consul. Number two, there was the Council of State.
The Council of State.
Council of State was the second. This is also a higher chamber, upper chamber. These guys, they worked as the senators, and they were directly appointed by Napoleon. Take
note of that. They were directly appointed by Napoleon.
And in order for you to qualify to be a senator or the Council of State, you were supposed to be a Bonapartist.
You're supposed to be a Bonapartist.
And Napoleon had the power to appoint and to dismiss.
Appoint, dismiss.
Don't you think those are excessive powers?
Excessive.
But there's something funny now. This guy is so funny. He's actually giving people what they want. He's using the Montesquieu theory of separating powers. But at the same time, he's there.
Yeah.
He's controlling. He's dictating. Appointing the Council of State, appointing and dismissing those were excessive powers.
Yes.
It shows that the powers were centralized to Napoleon. Then the third chamber, this is the lower chamber, is known as the Legislative
Assembly.
In this, legislative means law. These were lawmakers in our today's world with as good as saying members of parliament.
All right.
France was too big. Dr. Muso was made up of different departments. Talk of Lyon, talk of Paris. They needed representatives. So Napoleon gave people representatives. Remember, during the ancient regime, there was lack of political representation. Napoleon gave them that. And take note of this. There was use of plebiscites. People voted for their legislative members. Yes. There was use of voting. Though it was severely limited. But the people, they never realized that to them, they were voting. Why am I saying it was severely limited? Because they were voting for the names that were already prepared by Napoleon. And those people that qualified to be voted for, they were supposed to be Bonapartists. You see the dictatorship part of it. Then that is some of the key things about Napoleon's constitution. So to me, some of the key lessons, he used the Montesquieu theory of separation of powers, and later on the constitution, he later organized the government into central and local government. So what I was discussing is part of the central government. Then the local government, he used prefects, the mayor, there was the prefects and the sub-prefects. And let me tell you something about the prefects, sub-prefects. They were directly reporting to Napoleon. They acted as spies. But at the same time, it helps in terms of efficiency and actually reducing, capping corruption. And lastly, about the constitution, everyone who worked in Napoleon's government was appointed based on career open to talent. Talk of a good example, Marathi was made to be part of the government and later made to lead the Sicilian Republic. He was son of a innkeeper, unlike what happened in the ancient regime. So there was progress in his government. People were appointed based on what? Career open to talent. But after 1804, political, Napoleon was so tyrannic. Why am I saying? It's the time he declared himself as the what? Consul for life. He was coronated by the Pope.
What is coronation?
To coronation, it was a time when Napoleon called to the Pope in France.
I'm here, the Pope, I've come.
I've come, and the Pope was supposed to place the crown to Napoleon. And he took it and he crowned himself.
Yes. Oh, he took it from me.
He took it from the Pope.
Crown yourself.
Listen to. Yes. The Pope was the one that was supposed to crown him. But Napoleon, he said no. He took it and he crowned himself. That on its own, it proved the nature of Napoleon Bonaparte. So
he was a despot.
I
can see it.
And
you can imagine. Take it on your own.
That was something else.
It was something else.
Listen, to continue on that mate. I'm enjoying this lesson.
Yes.
You know, Napoleon, he introduced the sacred laws.
The sacred laws.
All of those. These were laws that were closely related to the church. And it means even now he was considered as a what? As an anointed person. Can you touch an anointed person?
No.
So in other words, to me, he reminded me of the ancient regime. So in other words, Napoleon also borrowed some of the ancient regime practices.
Which were despotic.
This is despotic. It's more of divine right of what? Of kings.
Yes.
So and it is said maybe in history for those that are reading that there was a point that people almost murdered Napoleon Bonaparte.
Okay.
Right. Was almost murdered. So it shows that Napoleon, even though he was good, he was benevolent, was a servant, he faced opposition. So that's why he also tried to crush opposition and he revived some of the ancient regime practices. Number one, he revived the letter T,
the catches.
Hey,
Yes, tell us more about that one.
now people, those who opposed Napoleon were sent to jail without trial.
Jesus. So he was a despot.
He was a despot. Number two, he reduced the number of newspapers. France was only left with 4 newspapers. And all the newspapers were scrutinized heavily by Napoleon himself. You will read newspapers before they are published.
So, students, you are seeing what Napoleon was doing. He was a dictator. The newspapers were censored. Page 1, page 2, up to the last page, talking about Napoleon.
What was the idea? To control the opinion
Of the people. Yes.
So, so it was more, the system political, it was more of indoctrination.
Yes.
People, they were made to believe that Napoleon is the Messiah.
He is the only person to rule the country.
To rule the country. I think these are some of the things you can add one or two.
No, I wanted also you to tell me about the arrest of the Pope.
It was in 1802. This guy, Napoleon, is arresting the Pope. But I think this actually makes more sense when we are doing the foreign policy. Because it's later in 1812. And it actually made him to be unpopular even in Europe. Because by then he was now an emperor. But you can see, he's a Napoleon, he arrested the Pope. Imagine, from all the people arresting the Pope, and remember, majority of French people were Catholics.
So that angered the people. So that was not okay. So today we have learned about the despotic nature of Napoleon, which he did in his domestic policies on the political reforms that he introduced in the country. Thank you so much.